This is a 7-pot Savannah. I think officially 7-pot Savannah long. Not quite sure where these came from. One would guess Savannah. So probably a grower in Georgia, I want to assume. Anyway, 7-pot Savannah. This is one that's kind of difficult to find, and not too many people growing these yet. So I'm very interested to see how the flavour compares to some of the other red 7-pots and how the heat compares. So here we are. Let's have a look. Okay, so I was a little overzealous with the cutting there. So here's the pod, and unlike the burgundy, there's a lot more placenta in this one, and the placenta has a lot more oil on it. I hope you can see that. Quite a lot of oil tucked away in the corners there where the placenta meets the wall. And like the burgundy, the smell isn't all that strong. But again, you know, it smells like a 7-pot. Very similar smell to a lot of these 7-pot varieties. Hi, I'm Nagacanario, and here we are for another review. Today we have a 7-pot Savannah. Difficult one to find. Not that many people growing these yet. And I've just been smelling it, and while it does have that standard 7-pot type smell, there's definitely some licorice to it, and I can't tell you where that comes from. But it definitely has a smell of licorice, as an undercurrent of licorice, and there's also a little bit of the tobacco scent that I've picked up in a couple of 7-pots, Douglas and the burgundy. I haven't. It's the first red one that's sort of come across that way. It's a very sweet smell, very nice. Probably one of the best smelling 7-pots that I've sniffed. So it's a very lumpy, bumpy thing, and there's quite a lot of oil in the inside, as you probably saw in the preamble bit. So I'm expecting this one to be a little bit hotter than the burgundy. We shall see. Very juicy again. It's not sweet at all. That's an interesting flavour. It's very different from any other 7-pot I've had. It still has that 7-pottiness to it, for want of a better word. But it's more savoury. Licorice was really the smell, not really the flavour. There's definitely a slight, very, very slight undercurrent of bitterness that is nice. Very complex flavour, like the smell was too. It's just starting to heat up now, and it's all gone straight to the back of my throat now. That might just be the juice. It was a very juicy pepper. Wow, that's really starting to heat up now. Oh, and that's mainly the back of my throat. On the very back edge of my tongue, mainly the throat. Oh, and the heat's really coming on now. That's a pretty hot pepper. Oh, Now it's tongue. It's all the surface of my tongue. And I've got hot tears with this one, which I didn't get with the burgundy. Oh, my eyes are starting to burn a little bit. Sting. There's a lot in the back of the throat and a lot on the back of my tongue. There's a little bit at the front. It's quite warm. Oh. And now it's all shifting to my tongue. Heaps and heaps of drill again. Crying a lot. I'm not sweating very much, but I'm crying like a baby. That one's quite painful too. It's very hot and quite painful. Oh, and it's still on the way up. Oh God. And now I'm starting to sweat. It's so painful I can't really talk. The back of my throat is really on fire, as well as the tongue. Oh. Oh, that's a painful one. That's very reminiscent of Madballz for the way it affects me. Very, very painful. Absolutely no flavour at all in my mouth. It's just just too much pain. Back of my throat and all the top of my tongue. Oh, starting to get an endorphin rush now with that one. Really starting to get a little dizzy. My hands are really buzzing. My feet too. Can't taste anything. My eyes are really sore from all the burning tears. Yeah, I'm starting to get lots of buzzing in my arms and my legs. My hands are a little bit numb at the tips of my fingers. I think it's just about peaked. I don't think it's going to get any worse than this. He's starting to get cold sweats now. Oh, really dizzy. My hands are really shaky. My legs, my arms, tingling like crazy. Yeah, it's definitely on the way down now. Oh, that's different for a 7-pot. Really big endorphin rush. Oh, making my teeth chatter a bit. Oh, my nose is tingling. Tip of my nose, my lips are all tingling too. Oh, on the way down, but going slowly. The endorphin rush is still on the way up. Every time I swallow, there's this whoosh of pain. Still some heat to it too. My lips are still burning. Tip of my tongue's burning as well. And then the back of my throat is painful and the back of my tongue is very painful. Still not got any of the flavour back. Oh, shaky as hell. Still crying, still sweating, very cold sweats actually, it's quite strange. Definitely makes me want to rock back and forwards. As if that'll do anything. Sweat dripping off the end of my nose now. Oh, I'm really shaky. I'm just starting to get some flavour back now, but not much. Flavour as it's coming back is a little acidic, not badly, not unpleasantly so. Not so much in the way of the tobacco flavour I mentioned. It's a 7-pot flavour, but it's quite rich. It's a rich flavour, it's almost an oiliness to it. But I'm still shaking. Oh. I'm going to have to sit down for a while after this one. Oh, the pain's subsiding significantly. Excuse me. Perhaps a little bit of vanilla to that one, but not much. Not very fruity. It's a very savoury pepper. Hi, I'm back again, and this is the aftermath report for the Savannah 7-pot, 7-pot Savannah Long, goes by all of those names. I just did a quick bit of research on where it came from. It's originated by Ed Kohler's in Savannah, and is an accidental cross between a yellow 7-pot and something red, presumably. And it's been growing out for I think 5 or 6 years now. Maybe slightly less. It's a very hot pepper, and a very painful pepper. I have had a few stomach issues after eating that one. Nothing bad, but I do feel like I've been punched in the stomach. But the most amazing thing about that really was it was very, very painful, and I got a very big endorphin rush, and it's an hour and a quarter after I ate it now, and I'm just coming down from the high. For the first half an hour or so, I literally just sat on the sofa and stared at the ceiling, and I don't really remember finishing the review. So obviously it released a lot of good chemicals into my brain, and I enjoyed them thoroughly. It's a great pepper, very hot and painful. As I said, very similar effects and levels of heat and pain to Madballz 7. I would say the Savannah may be a touch hotter than the Madballz, and maybe a touch more painful, but similar in a lot of respects. So it's a great pepper, and I highly recommend that one, especially for the after effects. As long as your stomach can handle the grief, you'll end up with a pretty nice endorphin rush. So 7-pot Savannah, very interesting strain. Thanks very much to Brian at ghostpepperstore.com for sending it to me, and that was dreadful. Okay, I'll see you later.